Ever kind of wish there was like a rule book for life, some ancient wisdom to help us navigate this crazy thing we call the 21st century?
Well, lucky for us, there kind of is.
Oh, okay. Now I'm really curious. You're going to make me wait for it. Spill the tea. What ancient secrets are we uncovering today?
No need to wait. Today we're going way back, like almost 2,000 years back, to the reign of Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and his meditations.
Wait, hold up. Meditations? Like his own personal journal. That Marcus Aurelius, the emperor.
The one and only. And you know what's fascinating? His writings are full of these reflections on life, leadership, and just dealing with everyday stuff that still resonate today. Like how to find peace when the world feels chaotic, how to make tough decisions. It's like peeking into the mind of an emperor who is also, just a guy trying to figure things out.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of cool. But also a little intimidating, right? I mean, how can some ancient Roman emperor possibly relate to the stuff we deal with today?
Right. But that's the thing about the human experience. It kind of transcends time and trends. And that's what we're diving deep into today. 5 key takeaways from Marcus Aurelius's meditations and how we can actually use them to navigate our own modern lives.
I am so ready. Hit me with some ancient wisdom.
Let's start with a quote that's like the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, which Marcus Aurelius was a big proponent of. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events."
Hmm. So much easier said than done.
100%. But that's the heart of it, right? It's not about pretending we have control over everything and everyone around us. It's about recognizing that we do have control over how we react and respond to those things.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. So, like, we can't control whether or not our train's delayed, but we can control whether we let it ruin our entire day, right?
Exactly. And this leads to another key lesson from Marcus Aurelius, all about where we choose to focus our energy. He says, confine yourself to the present.
Oh man, that one hits home. Like, how many times a day do you think we're not in the present moment, worrying about work deadlines, stressing about that text we haven't responded to, replaying that awkward conversation in our heads?
It's so easy to get caught in that mental time warp. But like most things, Marcus Aurelius is onto something here. Dwelling on the past or worrying about the future robs us of the only moment we truly have, the present.
So we're talking about being more mindful, more intentional about really being present in each moment.
Exactly. And that's where I think Marcus Aurelius would say we find true peace, even in the midst of chaos. And this focus on the present actually ties in perfectly with our next Stoic lesson, which is all about how we view challenges.
Okay, bring on the challenges. I'm ready to have my mind blown Roman emperor style.
All right, here's a quote that really packs a punch. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
Now, that is a lot to unpack. Like, what stands in the way becomes the way.
It's such a powerful reframe, right? Instead of viewing challenges as roadblocks or setbacks,
Hmm.
Stoicism encourages us to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Like each obstacle is actually a stepping stone on the path.
So it's like, instead of getting stuck in that why me headspace, we can shift our thinking to, okay, what can I learn from this?
Exactly. Marcus Aurelius would probably say, embrace the struggle. It's in those moments of friction that we really grow.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it can't all be about just powering through challenges, right? There's got to be room for like compassion and understanding in this whole Stoic philosophy, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's something Marcus Aurelius emphasizes throughout his writings, the importance of kindness. Even as an emperor, he recognized that compassion wasn't a weakness, but a source of strength. He has this one quote that I think about all the time. Whenever you're about to find fault with someone, ask yourself, what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I'm about to criticize?
Oof, that's a powerful one. It's like he's reminding us to like check ourselves before we wreck ourselves.
It's so easy to judge, to jump to conclusions about people based on like a tiny glimpse into their lives. But when we take a step back and remember that everyone's fighting their own battles, it kind of shifts everything.
It's that whole be kind for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle idea, right? It's about recognizing our shared humanity.
Exactly. And sometimes the kindest thing we can do is just give people the benefit of the doubt. We never really know the full story, do we?
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Controlling our minds, staying present, embracing challenges, practicing kindness. Where does Marcus Aurelius take us for our final Stoic lesson?
Well, he leaves us with a pretty profound reflection on time. It's a bit of a reality check, but in the best way possible. Here's the quote. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think.
Wow, okay. Talk about a wake-up call. I get what he's saying, though. It's
Yeah.
about, like, not taking our time for granted, right? Living each day to the fullest.
That's exactly it. It's not about being morbid, but about recognizing the preciousness of our time and letting that guide our actions and choices.
Like, if we knew our time was limited, what would we prioritize? How would we show up differently in our lives?
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder to focus on what truly matters, to make each moment count.
Yeah, it makes you realize how much time we spend on things that, in the grand scheme of things, don't really matter, you know? Like, suddenly that email you're stressing over doesn't seem so important anymore.
It's like Marcus Aurelius is giving us permission to let go of all that noise and just focus on what truly brings us joy, what makes life meaningful.
And maybe that looks different for everyone, right? But the point is to be intentional about how we're spending our precious time.
Exactly. And to remember that every day is a gift, even with all its imperfections and challenges.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive, from ancient Rome to, well, right here, right now. It's amazing how relevant these ideas still are, even after all these centuries.
It's a testament to the power of these Stoic principles.
Right.
Right. They're not just some dusty old philosophy. They're like timeless tools for navigating the human experience.
Totally. So as we wrap up our time with Marcus Aurelius, what would you say is, like, the most important thing for our listeners to take away from all of this?
Hmm. That's a tough one. But I think if we could distill it down to one key idea, it would be this. We have more control than we think we do. Not control over everything that happens to us, but control over how we choose to respond to it.
I love that. It's empowering. You know, it means that even when life throws us curveballs, which, let's face it, it always does, we have the power to choose our own adventure, our own perspective, our own response.
Exactly. And that's what Marcus Aurelius would want us to remember. We are not just passive passengers on this crazy ride called life. We are the drivers.
And on that note of empowerment, we'll leave you with this question to ponder. If you could ask Marcus Aurelius for one piece of advice on navigating your own life, what would it be? Think about it, and until next time, keep diving deep.